This is Dan Meyer with RCR Wireless at the Telecom Council Industry Innovation event here in California. I'm here with Christina Claure from Sprint, talking a bit about what's happening here at the event. So Christina, thanks for joining us, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Great, well maybe start off with a little overview of what do you do at Sprint?
My role is one of technology scouting. So I am based here in the Silicon Valley. I'm co-located with the SoftBank team in San Carlos.
Okay.
And so we do a lot of investigation into some of the startups and the companies that are new, some of the existing companies that are in the Valley. There's a lot of information about different kinds of technologies. I go to a lot of fast pitch events like this one. I work with the VCs about the companies they have in their portfolio. And so it's a lot of finding what's out there and making the appropriate introductions to the relevant product teams within Sprint. And likewise, conversely, I also meet with the different product teams to know what it is that they're looking for, what they already have, what kind of gaps they're trying to fill, and I go out and I scout for those things.
That's a big project then for you guys, because you have to kind of bring the two sides together. Like obviously, kind of getting all the information coming in, getting from both sides of both Sprint and also the industry out there as well. So that's a lot of work going on there for you.
It's really interesting. I love it. Yeah.
And I know Sprint's put a big focus lately on kind of really focusing on the Silicon Valley and a lot of innovation as well. So I'm guessing for you, the workload has just been getting, I'm guessing, greater and greater too.
Well, there's definitely a lot to see. There's always new things coming around the corner. It's interesting what trends and what kind of goes out of favor a little bit. So that's interesting to see. These events are really good for that kind of thing because you can sometimes see just a wave of a particular kind of technology coming across, and that's relevant and interesting, I think, for the team in Kansas City who may not see that I'd like to make introductions for.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, how's the event gone for you so far today? I mean, again, a lot of companies are here.
Yeah.
I've talked to quite a few of them already myself, and a lot of great ideas, it seems like. But again, my views are probably a little different from a telecom operator. So what's kind of got your attention here at the event so far today?
I don't want to spoil it.
No, names, but
no names.
Just in general.
So we have a couple of focus areas that are kind of come to the foreground for Sprint. Some of that is fintech. We're obviously doing a lot with digitization, so we're trying to do more with allowing customers to come online and do a lot of the things that they used to have to do in the store or over the phone, allowing them to do more of that. Self-care online. So we're calling it digitization, so some of that. There's some interesting NFE and SDN companies, some interesting things to do with big data. So there's all sorts of really great companies here today. I was very impressed with the group.
Yeah, it seems like, I guess, for a telecom operator nowadays, I mean, there's just so many different avenues to kind of advance your network and advance your operations. I mean, it's got to be not daunting per se, but it definitely has opened up a lot of different, it seems like a lot of different ways to go, a lot of different avenues, a lot of different new industry segments really coming towards telecom, because telecom is still pretty large community out there. So I'm guessing for you guys, it's just been just this constant flow of new information, how to distill it all down. Must be a bit of a challenge.
Well, the interesting thing is that I see it come, it flows through. I put these companies in front of the relevant teams on a monthly basis. And so every month they'll see 3 or 4 different companies, or I'll introduce them to 3 or 4 different companies at a time. And so it's a good way to kind of see what's out there, do a little bit of a compare contrast, to understand, some of the companies do it this way, there's this other option to do it this way, and to have an overview of the kinds of ways that a particular problem could be approached.
And it seems like too with Sprint, I know it seems like it's a very much a top-down kind of push for this as well, because I mean obviously all telecom operators are trying to evolve their networks to be more efficient and run better, but I know at Sprint especially, they've done a lot of work lately in trying to really drive efficiencies throughout the whole operations, and it seems like obviously digitization is a way to do that. So I'm guessing for you, you're getting great support from above to really kind of get out there and meet people and kind of drive this into the organization itself.
Yeah, and I think innovation definitely is something that is, from the very top down, is something that's very important to Sprint, and there's a focus on doing things better, more efficiently, obviously always with the goal of cutting costs or bringing new customers on board, or treating the customers that we have better, getting them better service.
Makes sense. Maybe for a company that's looking to join the Telecom Council or to become one of these events, what piece of advice would you give them ahead of, say they have a meeting with you at one of these events? What would you recommend to them, as they're prepping for that kind of event? I mean, obviously these are very short meetings, very short pitch meetings, so you got to get to your point pretty quick. But what would be, the 1 or 2 points you'd make to them to say, hey, before we talk, make sure you've got this all laid out and not waste anybody's time?
I think just the obvious thing, which is do a little bit of homework ahead of time. 10 minutes online, study up on what it is that Sprint's doing, is not doing. one of the things that we are well aware of is the problem in the industry. So a lot of companies will start their presentation by saying, here's an issue here, and go into great detail about the problem. I think you can fairly adequately guess that we know what the problem is, and we're really looking to see how you differentiate your products from the others in that space, and how you would work with us.
Come with a solution, not with a problem.
Yeah, tell me why I care.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. That's a big part of it.
Yeah.
And like you said too, I mean, the differentiation part of it's going to be big because again, it does seem like, not that every company here is offering the same thing, but there are some similarities.
Right.
So you have to be able to make yourself unique in the market to really get some extra attention.
That's right.
Yeah. Makes sense.
And in a space where we may already have a solution, why is what you're doing better, or how does it augment what we're already doing, as opposed to the idea of ripping and replacing, which very few people are actually doing at this point.
Yeah, that's a costly proposition to do that. So you have to make sure it makes sense in the long run to do something like that. So that makes a lot of sense. Well, again, then I guess working with the Telecom Council, I guess this has been a pretty good event for you guys.
Yeah.
You've come to this several years, I think, in the past as well. So I guess in general, how has the event been treating you, and how's it working with Telecom Council in general been?
Oh, I have the highest regard for the Telecom Council. They do a fantastic job. We've been members for, I don't know, as long as I've been at Sprint, so at least 5 years. This event particularly is extremely well run. It's really efficient. It's a great way to get, I guess, 15 companies or so, like in a day, just boom, 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 just get them through and see what they're doing. And so gives me really good pipeline for the next week or so.
Yeah.
Again, a 10-minute meeting is a really good amount of time to know whether you want to learn more or whether it's something that's not relevant. So it's actually a very good format.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, great, Christina. We definitely appreciate the time today. Thanks so much for the insight.
Thank you very much.
All right. Well, this is Dan Meyer with RCR Wireless at the Telecom Council Industry Innovation event. Thanks for watching.